All right, so in our last session on design thinking, we talked all about empathy, getting out there and really truly understanding our users. But, all that amazing insight, all those observations, they have to lead somewhere, right? And that brings us to the next absolutely crucial step, the define stage. This is where all that chaos starts to finally become clear. So you've done the work. You're practically swimming in a sea of information. You've got interview notes, observations about user behaviors, gut feelings, the whole shebang. And honestly, it's really easy to feel totally overwhelmed. The big question every single designer faces at this point is, what do you actually do with all of it? How do you find the important stuff in all that noise? Well, that's exactly what the define stage is for. Think of it like a synthesis process. You take all that raw data from the empathy phase and you start to mold it into a focused, actionable problem. We're not just looking for the problem we think is there or the really obvious one. Nope. We are hunting for the meaningful problem that's sitting right at the heart of the user's experience. And you gotta know the stakes here are incredibly high. Why? Because you could have the most brilliant, innovative, and perfectly built idea in the world, but if it's solving the wrong problem, it's gonna fail. Every time. Getting this stage right is literally the difference between creating something people will love and creating something that just completely misses the point. Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. On the left, you've got students are lazy. I mean, where do you go from there? It's a total dead end. It's just a judgment, not a problem you can actually design a solution for. But look at the right. Students struggle to manage time because study spaces are distracting. Boom. All of a sudden, you have a real design opportunity. You have context, you have a clear path forward. It changes everything. So, how do we get to that awesome problem definition? Well, it's all about analysis and interpretation. We have to sift through everything we gathered in the empathy stage, and we start looking for connections. Are there patterns popping up? Any behaviors we saw over and over again? What are the specific pain points or those emotional frustrations that multiple users are talking about? This is where you really start to connect the dots. And here's a really crucial point. The insights you come up with can't just be your own opinions or what you assume is happening. They absolutely have to be grounded in the evidence you gathered. An insight is a conclusion you draw directly from what you saw and heard from your users. It's the why behind what they do. So a key thing you'll create in this stage is the problem statement. Seriously, think of this as your North Star for the entire project. A great one has 3 rules. First, it has to be user-centered. It's about them, not you. Second, it needs to be specific enough to give you some real direction. And third, and this one's maybe the most important, it can't include the solution. You've got to leave room for creativity. Let's look at another one. A poor statement might be, design a better chair. I mean, what does better even mean, right? It's so vague. But look at this alternative. Office workers who sit for long hours need seating that reduces fatigue and improves posture. Now that is powerful. See the difference? It's all about the user. It's specific, but it doesn't tell you how to solve it. The solution could be a new chair, sure, but it could also be a standing desk accessory or something we haven't even thought of yet. It opens doors instead of closing them. Okay, once you've got that solid problem statement locked in, you're ready to flip it. You're going to turn it into a launch pad for a ton of ideas. This is the bridge that takes you from understanding the problem to actually solving it. And the tool for that, it's a simple but incredibly powerful little question. How might we? Yeah, that's it. Those 3 little words are a total game changer. By framing your problem statement this way, like taking our student example and saying, how might we create a study space that is less distracting for students? You instantly shift the team's mindset from being stuck on problems to seeing all the possibilities. This simple format is just so effective because it encourages brainstorming. It gets the ideas flowing. It also keeps the problem totally open-ended, and it forces the team to focus on the opportunity, not the limitations. It just sets this really positive, optimistic tone for the ideation stage, which is coming up next. And hey, if you're a student or just starting out in your design career, listen up, because this is super important. This isn't just theory for a test. Your ability to properly define a problem is one of the most scrutinized skills in job interviews and portfolio reviews. It proves you can think critically, not just make pretty pictures. When someone is looking at your work, whether it's a professor or a hiring manager, these are the questions they are really asking in their head. Your problem statement is the direct answer to those first two questions. It is the hard evidence that you actually understood the user and that you figured out what the real issue was. A strong definition gives you the logical reason for every single design decision you make later on. So, if we boil it all down, it's actually pretty simple. The empathy stage is where you go out to understand people. And the define stage is where you take all that knowledge and use it to truly understand the problem. See how one flows directly into the other? It perfectly sets the stage for what comes next, generating a ton of great ideas in ideation. I'll leave you with a little challenge. Think about a frustration you have in your own daily life. Anything. Now, are you defining it as some kind of personal failing, like, I'm just so bad at waking up on time? Or could you reframe that as a design opportunity? Something like, how might I create a morning routine that I actually look forward to? Because honestly, the way you define the problem, well, that can change everything.